Good afternoon. I'm Susan Rudd. I'm here with Dan Shannon. Welcome to the 38th Annual Pine Tree Apple Tennis Classic. Some of the best tennis in the Midwest. We are playing mixed doubles today in the Masters Division Final, which are players that are 35 and over, but play like they're in the Open Division, Dan.
Oh, the level of play in this division is off the charts. All the matches yesterday and today have been decided by third set tiebreakers. It's just been phenomenal tennis, and it's just been a real treat to watch.
Dan, can you remember a time in Pine Tree history, and you've played and been to a lot of the Pine Tree tournaments now. Can you remember a time that it's been closer in the Masters Division?
No, not at all. And it's not even matches are close. The level of play throughout the matches has just been so high and off the charts. We had two matches yesterday that went really long third set tiebreakers. One was 15-13 and one was 14-12. And it's just unbelievable.
And Dan, just as a reminder now, the third set is determined by the tiebreaker.
Correct. The format for this year's tournament is the best 2 out of 3 sets. If the sets are split, they play a match tiebreaker, which is the first team to win 11 or win 10 points by a margin of 2. So those tiebreakers actually went overtime beyond the score of 10. So as you look at the draw here, you can see the teams that played. The semifinals were both third set tiebreakers. 3 of the quarterfinals matches were third set tiebreakers. So, 7 of the teams literally could have won this tournament. And it's just those teams that are in the finals just played a little bit better at the end of those tiebreakers, and it's just been really great watching.
Followed by the Open Finals at 2 o'clock.
So what we're doing now is we're announcing the teams that we're going to be coming out, and we'll start introducing the players at that point. So one thing about the tournament is this is the Pine Tree Apple Tennis Classic. It began 38 years ago by the Peterson family. And so far, the tournament has raised $7.5 million for children's cancer research at children's hospitals and clinics in Minneapolis. And it's just been a wonderful event. Every year it raises probably on an average $300,000. And all of that money goes to children's hospitals. And they use that for research for children's cancer. I can't pronounce the cancer, but it's PPB is the acronym for it, and they've also done a lot of work the last 15 to 20 years also with physical therapy for cancer patients, and that work has also been phenomenal and has an amazing impact on so many families, one dealing with cancer and the therapies, but also being able to rehab and work through that. So it's just a marvelous event.
And Dan, just as a reminder, it's not too late to donate.
Correct. It is not too late to donate.
We have a good crowd out here. It's been a fantastic, beautiful week, and the spectators and the amount of people here have proven that. But if you are inclined, you can look at the Pine Tree Apple Tennis Classic Fund online to donate. That is ptacf.org. So we'd love to have you participate in the event from home as well.
Correct. And at this point, we'd also like to
Ladies
thank our event sponsors.
We would like to introduce to you our courts.
We're going to do...
Today we will begin introducing from court number 4. In court number 4, we have our 11 and under junior Pine Tree finalists.
Okay, we'll pass and we'll allow the introductions to happen.
We first have the team of Catherine Lee and Sanjeev Gunlanpali. Catherine comes to us from Rochester, Minnesota, and goes to Kellogg Middle School. She plays piano and violin. Her partner Sanjeev is from Edina, goes to Creek Valley Elementary,
I know the tournament.
and has a passion for chess. Their opponents today are the team of Julia Zuki and Seth Furman. Julia is from Minneapolis, and she goes to Our Lady of Grace Catholic School, and also plays golf. Seth is from Minnetonka, goes to Sunset Hill Elementary, and says he is also ambidextrous. Ladies and gentlemen, the 11 and under finals. On court number 3, we have the team of Aisha Atayeva and Varan Tangeti. Aisha is from Turkmenistan, and she also is a fabulous cook. Varan is from Eden Prairie and plays soccer in addition to tennis. Their opponents today are the team of Fatime Vang and Alan Wang. Fatime is from Eden Prairie and goes to Blake High School. She says she started playing tennis at age 3. I'm not sure I was walking at that time. Alan is from Edina and goes to St. Paul Academy, has a passion for video games. Ladies and gentlemen, the championships of the 15 and under division. On court number 2, we have the Grand Masters Championship. On the north side of the courts, we have the team of Bernie McCann and Drew Fernelius. Bernie is from Minnetonka and has played in many pine trees and is a 5-time pine tree champion. She also played tennis at the University of Tennessee. Drew is from Crystal and joining us for the first time here at the Pine Tree Apple Tennis Classic. He is the men's and women's tennis coach at Bethel University. He's a 3-time All-American at St. Thomas, and in 1989 he was the state high school champion from New London Spicer High School. Their opponents today are the team of Katie Resch and Chris Combs. Katie is from St. Paul and playing in her 4th pine tree. She played college tennis at Rhode Island College and has qualified for the Nationals with multiple USTA teams, including a 2011 Senior Mixed National Championship team. Her partner, Chris Combs, is from right here in beautiful White Bear Lake. His training included raising all boys from his family. Chris is playing in his 38th pine tree. And if you do the math, yes, this is the 38th annual. His wife said he started very young, though. Chris learned to play tennis with short shorts, long hair, and wooden rackets. He's taught the game for over 40 years and was an Open Division champion in 2000. Ladies and gentlemen, the Grand Masters Championship. And on court number 1, we have our Masters Championship match. On the south side of the court, we have the team of Jackie Sperling Hosseini and Tim Burke. Tim is from Minnetrista, Minnesota, and playing in his 8th pine tree. In 2022, he and Jackie were our Masters champions. Tim played at the University of Minnesota. Jackie is playing in her 3rd pine tree, and is from Eden Prairie, Minnesota. As well as winning the 2022 Masters Championship with Tim, she played at the University of Minnesota. She has won the National Father-Daughter Grass Court Championships and 2 National Mother-Daughter Indoor Championships. Their opponents today are the team of Marla Menny and Mickey Mall. Mickey is from Wayzata, Minnesota, and playing in his 11th pine tree. He has 7 pine tree titles to his credit. He was an ITF 40 and over doubles champion. It had an ATP world ranking. He played at the University of Southern Illinois and is the USTA National Managing Director of Industry and Engagement and Sales. His partner, Marla, is from right here in White Bear Lake, and the daughter of White Bear Lake fitness legend Jim Menny. She's playing in her 13th Pine Tree. She was the 2006 ITA National Doubles Champion and All-American. She was a 4-time MIAC Team Champ at Gustavus, and in 2021, she was the Pine Tree Masters Champion. In 2018, she was also recognized for the Sportsmanship Award here at Pine Tree. Ladies and gentlemen, the Masters Finals.
Okay, we'll go back to the event sponsors while they're warming up. Again, the Jacobson family at the Pine Tree Apple Orchard have been founding sponsors from the beginning and continue to really be a huge force behind the success of this event. Also, the dentistry and the entire family of John Grismeyer and Barb Jacobson and Jackie and Jeff Mudge. Also, the Sile Foundation is also an event sponsor. And now for presenting sponsors, I'll throw that to Sue.
Well, we'd also like to add in Birch Lake Dental, Erickson Amet Orthodontics, USTA Northern, Lake Elmo Inn, who I think provided the food for the sponsor player event.
Excellent food.
Excellent food. Kevin and Polly Hart, thank you, and Highland Bank. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor, we would always like to find more. You can visit the ptacf.org, be a sponsor.
Yes. We can never have too many sponsors for this event. That's for sure.
While we're saying thank yous and we have a few minutes, thank you, Lisa Mouchette. She is the event coordinator. We want to also thank Lifetime and the GM, Erica Hedstrom, Matt Narr, and Mike Yates, who are also with Lifetime. This event just takes so much work, and just really want to thank them.
Yeah, it's a huge undertaking. Both Sue and I have been involved in this tournament for a long time. We've served on many boards and committees, and to put this thing together, the time and energy it takes from just an enormous amount of people, and to organize all that, just a big thank you to all those people who helped put this together, including our food tent. I mean, so far there have been over 500 beers sold as of the end of day yesterday. Pretty close second would be the apple rollovers, over 200. 250 brats. I mean, there's a lot of food out here. There's a lot of action, a lot of positive energy, and if you ever have a chance to come out and watch this event,
Or have a brat. Come and get a brat.
and have a beer with it. So
it just takes a lot of work. That's just one example of just one small part of the event, but just the numbers and the work that it takes.
And all the people that volunteer at the food tent year in and year out. It's just amazing. Okay. So for the last few years, the previous champions, as we can see, some pretty impressive names there.
And a lot of them are playing again and play year after year. So really appreciate the player support.
Correct. Players, once they start playing, they usually play up to 38 years. Tobias has been a big part of this event for a long time. He'll be in the Open Finals, which will follow this. Kevin Werwe, I believe, has played 30 years. He's won 8 titles, and he is the driving force behind the Pine Tree Fund board, and he devotes an enormous amount of time for the success of this event and the ongoing. And Leslie and Brian, they were 3-time champions. And it's just, they had their run stopped this year by the team of Bernie McCann and Drew Fernelius in the semis in a really hard-fought match. It's just been a really great event this year.
This Twin Cities community and the greater Midwest, I mean, just support this tournament and this cause year after year after year.
Yeah, and this is the largest event of its kind in the nation by almost double. So it's really a special event for tennis. It's really a special event for White Bear. And most importantly, it's a critical event for children's cancer, both the research and early diagnosis, and also the rehab and the PT that goes on with those therapies. So it's just a huge win-win-win for everyone involved.
And it just seems like once a player or a sponsor gets involved and they feel the community, they see where their dollars are going, they just make an effort to come back. Dan and I know there's a player from Illinois that is coming
Brett
every
comes
year.
Back. Yep.
Brett.
I believe you saw last year's Open champion, Imka Reimers. She comes back every year. She flies back at her own expense from Boston, where she teaches college there.
Correct.
And she brought her hitting partner to play with her this year in the Masters. And they're one of the people that won their quarterfinal match 14-12 in a third set tiebreaker, and then lost in a third set tiebreaker in the semis. But again, she just keeps coming back, and she, I believe, raised almost $8,000 this year personally.
Yeah, amazing effort.
You get the bug, you talk to the doctors, you talk to the PT people, and
meet the families.
And you meet the
and
families.
the children.
And you're hooked. So it looks like we're getting ready to start play here. This should be an amazing match. Someone asked me who I thought was going to win, and I said, I don't know, but it's most likely going to come down to a long third set tiebreaker. And so the level of play, I'm assuming, is going to be really high. You have four players who do not make a lot of errors. They hit the ball so clean. They all serve so well. They all return so well. I believe in Marla's semis match yesterday, she had a serving game, I believe, that went over 10 deuces. That they ended up winning that game. And it's just, it's just so hard to win every game in this division.
Well, just so mentally tough, Dan.
Yeah.
To hold your serve after 10 deuces.
Yeah.
That is just, very resilient.
Absolutely. So as you're looking at the screen, there's Mickey Mall, 7-time champion, world-ranked player, left-handed, just phenomenal.
And his son is quite good as well.
Correct. His son just finished his freshman year at George Washington University in St. Louis. He was part of the Orono high school boys team the year before that won the state tournament.
So it runs in the family.
It runs in the family. So, again, they're just all very strong, dedicated players who bring it. So, Tim and Jackie won the toss and have elected to serve, and Tim Burke will begin the match. So let's get after it. Wow.
Good job, Mick.
Right away, you can see how Tim moves. I mean, that was a wonderful lob. Tim had to plan that ball, which is amazing.
The shots have to be so good to get by these teams. Jackie hit a great volley, and Mickey was there and hit a great lob. Ooh, a rare miss. But there's going to be a lot of long points like that.
He would like to see that one again.
I think so.
But we all play. It's easier to make those kinds of mistakes than you think.
Oh,
they
absolutely.
look easy. They look easy when you're sitting here.
Oh, exactly. As one coach told me once, I think they're easy to miss. There's no such thing as an easy shot in tennis.
Correct.
Nice serve wide by Tim. You know, lots of times between points the players talk. They're talking about, okay, serve location. They're talking about maybe what the net player is going to poach or not. Just trying to make sure they're working as a team on the same page.
And you'd think they may know this by now, but you have to make slight adjustments depending on who you're playing.
Correct. Wow, what a nice point.
Beautiful setup by Marla, hitting a low ball that forced Tim to pop one up for Mickey to pounce on.
Yep. And
Great setup.
He didn't miss that one. You don't see Mickey missing 2 balls very often. And lots of times at this time of the match, they're kind of feeling each other out a little bit. You know, serve locations. You know, when to poach, when not to poach.
Dan, we've already seen in this first game 4 tremendous lobs.
Yeah.
Underutilized shot, don't you think?
Absolutely.
By many people?
Absolutely. You're just
Man,
trying
can
to keep the offensive team off balance. And as Tim just hit a really nice lob that forced Marla back, he went right back at her feet with the next shot. So lots of times the lob might not win the point, but it's going to set up a great opportunity to either force an error or hit a winner.
Great serve. Took a little off that one, but boy, placed it great where Marla just did not have a good hit play on that ball. Tough serve.
Correct. And if you notice the serves in that game by Tim, he did not hit the same serve twice to either player. So sometimes you're kind of looking to see, okay, which serve is going to be effective, which serve might be more effective. Sometimes you play that more often. Sometimes you keep it in your back pocket and say, okay, on a big point, now I'm going to use that one. So again, this is kind of the probing time, seeing what might be effective and what might not be.
Such amazing observations. Seriously, you're amazing.
So
I think I'm great, but I think you're great too.
So Mickey Mall to start serving. Good point. Love 15.
Well, she took that first return right at Marla.
Yep.
Marla, good doubles player. Nice volley.
Yeah, kept the ball in play, kept it deep, had an overhead opportunity, and just Jackie defended it really well. Okay, nice point. I think one of the myths that used to be is you pick on the woman in mixed doubles. And I think if we've seen so far that these ladies more than hold their own. You can't pick on them. Tim just drilled a ball at Marla, and she had a great volley to earn the point. think that was a pretty good shot.
You know, one of the other things that we see already is, Dan's talking about kind of some myths. People will often think, you have to serve and volley all the time. You see Mickey here choosing to stay back. You see Tim and Jackie staying back right now. Again, working with different formations, what works. Looks like Mickey's planning to stay back again.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a fair amount of that has been the technology of the game with the new rackets, the new strings. People can put so much spin on their ball that a lot of players would rather serve and stay back instead of getting a ball on their shoelaces and having to volley defensively. Stay back and try to rip a ground stroke to gain control of the point.
And like you said, Dan, I mean, Jackie and Marla are going to be looking for balls to poach on.
Yep.
So they can set their partners up just as well from the baseline.
Yep. Great running forehand by Tim. Earns the first break point of the match. Just a really great first serve by Mickey. Again, he'd missed his first serve twice to Tim before that. Kind of bears down, hits a really solid first serve to get back to deuce. Oh,
Wow. Boy, not by much.
boy, she hits such a clean, solid ball. I mean, when she misses, it's always less than an inch or two. Oh, what great defense.
Nice get again. You see the speed of Tim Burke to keep them in that point. Great get. Interesting there. 3 back.
Yep. Ooh, a rare volley here by Marla. Marley is her name put together.
Right.
Marla Many. So if I say Marley.
Right.
Okay, second break point. And the first break of the match. And I think you saw in that game many times that getting your first serve in is kind of important. I think he had a pretty good success rate when the first serve went in. When he had to hit second serves, Tim and Jackie returned way too well to give them that many looks at second serves.
Yeah, they're not giving up. They didn't give a lot of free mistakes there, Jackie and Tim.
No, they defended well the game point that Mickey and Marla had.
see if they can break back here.
Yep.
Good start.
Yep. I think even if Tim had been there, that would have been almost impossible volley to get back in play.
Yeah, good, confident return, I agree.
Good low cross court.
And you can see these players, they hit out on the ball. They choose their target and they accelerate and they're aggressive. There's just not a lot of room to be cautious in this at this level.
Correct. Jackie saw Mickey going and kind of went, well, you're going to have to hit a great volley because I'm going to hit a great ground stroke.
Exactly.
That was a pretty impressive offensive lob Jackie just hit off of an incredible serve return by Mickey.
Again, that lob can be such a great setup.
Yeah. And notice these players are not hitting defensive, I'm in trouble lobs. They're trying to push that team off the net. And I think most of the lobs so far this match have landed well behind the service line, closer to the baseline. So even if the net player is hitting an overhead, they're not able to do that much with it.
Oh, what a return.
What a return.
Again, decisive, confident. Wow.
Play. And Jackie's first serve percentage this game has gotten them into a little bit of trouble.
Well, we saw that with Mickey as well, as you pointed out. That first serve so important in doubles because the returner is looking to attack the second serve.
Especially with returners of the quality that we have before on these court. Oh, what a pickup by Mickey.
Amazing agility.
That was a pretty darn good shot that Jackie just hit that Mickey was able to get.
So they broke back.
Broke right back.
So we want to continue. We have so many generous sponsors. We want to continue to recognize more of the sponsors. Thank you, Dee Gettert and Jim Dorsey, Kraus Anderson Construction Company, Royal Credit Union, La Chava Collection, and Timberline Roofing and Contracting. Thank you so much for becoming one of the event sponsors.
Yeah, also Denise and Larry Luskowski, Dr. Chris Ann Schultz and Chris Schultz, Hanja Rental, and Blue Heron Soap Company. Thank you for supporting the 2023 event at the Harrelson level sponsorship. And if you are interested in becoming a sponsor for this event, please go to ptacf.org/B-A-sponsor.
Little fun fact, Dan. Blue Heron Soap Company, the founder of the company, was a former player at Pine Tree. Her daughter played in the junior Pine Tree event today and is a champion.
She was a champion today with her partner.
So thank you, Jen Miller. And her daughter Molly, the new champion.
The new champion, the future Pine Tree player.
Exactly.
In the adult
Up and coming.
division. Okay, Marla Menny to serve next. I said your name. I did one so far. Two pretty impressive ground strokes by Jackie. Again, they might not be winners. You know, the opponents got their rackets on the ball, but they really couldn't do much with them. Ended up creating an error. Another great point.
But again, using the lob very effectively, just out.
Yep.
Would have been a tough ball.
Yep. The wind swirling just a little bit. Good aggressive return off the second serve. 3 break points. I know yesterday, Marla's, that long game she served that I talked about earlier, they were down 40-love that game also.
Dan, one of the things I'm noticing as I'm watching some of the crowd, a lot of the players are here. You know, that were knocked out yesterday, Friday.
Absolutely.
God, just the support is amazing. Fun to see all the players out here too.
Yep. Even the players that are playing in the Open Final next, they didn't go home between matches. They're watching their fellow players and enjoying the play. So we played 4 games. There's been 3 break of serves. Another thing you're noticing with lobbing is how often they are lobbing over their opponent's backhand side. So even if it's a little bit shorter, like Mickey just hit, you're still forcing them to hit a high two-handed swinging backhand like that, which is always a harder shot. You kind of just drew the air. Just barely missed. Boy, the misses so far in this match have been probably by a combined 10 inches.
Again, just out.
Just out. They had Mickey taking his really strong forehand at Jackie's backhand volley. I'm betting Tim is putting that in his memory log, saying, well, I'm not going to hit that serve again. Oh, what a reflex lob.
Mickey almost seemed to lose sight of that ball.
Yep, I think he thought he was going the other way and had to do a little bit of a 180. And again, I think a little bit of the difference so far this match has been just a little better defensive play by Tim and Jackie. You know, when they're behind in a rally, they're able to squeeze out a couple points.
Great
Wow.
return.
Well, I guess pick your poison with Mickey. Served his forehand, you're in trouble. Served his backhand, you're in trouble. I think that's why he won 7 in a row. It's just hard to win points on the deuce side. And if you're losing deuce side points, you're playing from behind.
Hopefully giving your partner numerous chances to win the
Yeah.
game.
Oh, just another fraction of an inch out.
Great point. Great point. Great defense. Great offense.
That mode where
That forehand of Marla, just solid. Great return. Just couldn't quite pull that out.
Again, I think we've been playing a little over a half hour so far, and we've still only played 4 games. Oh, what a shot.
Nice moving by Tim.
nice setup. Let him lob.
Here's a nice replay. And technical difficulties. Okay, switch to an I formation for this point.
Oh, great return.
Wow. Again, not to repeat ourselves, but it's really hard to earn a point out here. Wow. I
Boy,
think that's
again.
kind of something right there. You see why you might not serve and volley when you serve to Mickey.
Again, solid returning
Yep.
by both Mickey and Marla. Good question. Where do you
Yep.
go on Mickey?
It's tough, and you think, I got to get my first serve in, so you take a little pace off it, and then he does something like that to you. Okay, a break point. Ooh. Marla wants that one back. I believe this is our third deuce this game.
You know, it's commendable. It's great that Marla wants the ball, though.
Yep.
If you're a little bit cautious, you don't want to go for those.
Yep.
So it's good that Marla's feeling like she wants the ball. She wants to be aggressive. She knows she can execute, even though she missed. I like it. It's a good move.
Yep. And again, Tim Suburban stayed back that time. At least he was able to fight off that return a little bit, get it enough cross court to make it a little bit harder for Marla to get. And another tough hold for Tim. And a couple of those defensive points when they were behind kept them in the game, and then they took advantage.
The Sweet Tango sponsors here at the Pine Tree Apple Tennis Classic are Suntide Commercial Realty, Dog Days Incorporated, for those of you that have pups that go to daycare. We appreciate the support. Children's Discovery Academy of Early Learning, and Havana Juice. Just once again, could not do it without the support of the players, the people that support the players playing, and our numerous sponsors. Thanks again.
Yeah, speaking of the players, as of Friday night, the players in this event have raised over $250,000 in the adult part of the tournament. In our junior tournament this year, the kids raised over $20,000. I believe it's up to $25,000. So players playing in this tournament, they agree to raise money. They must raise a minimum of $750 to play in the event. And people raise anywhere from $750, and the highest this year was Kevin Worry, who raised over $14,000 this year.
Wow.
And that's a big key. You know, he's an 8-time champion, but he also raises consistently, if not the top fundraiser in this event. And I think when you ask him what's more important, he would tell you every time raising the money for the kids. Another nice exchange.
And Dan, just want to reiterate, with the number of players that we have, there are probably thousands of sponsors out there in the community that have helped with the sponsorship amount that you just mentioned. So thank you for all the people out there
Correct.
that have supported the players as well.
And there's a number of them who like to stay anonymous, and they give an awful lot of money. You know, $10,000 here, $20,000 there, and they don't want any notoriety. They do it just for the kids and for the event, and that's just amazingly generous. Boy, what a forehand.
And the depth, great depth.
Yeah, and it looked like Jackie and Tim were trying to change the pace a little bit, throw Mickey off a little bit. He adjusted himself really well with his footwork. I know Mickey's been having some knee issues. This is the first match in the tournament he hasn't worn a knee brace. So, obviously, he's feeling pretty good.
Again, just missed.
Again, we're sitting right on that baseline, and I can't tell you how close all those misses are. I mean, Sue and I are both 60, and we'd be calling those in. That's a pretty good second serve. And again, really the first routine game of the match. Now Jackie's serving at 4-2. This is a important momentum game for them. Keep the lead going. You know, 4-1 and 4-2, they might seem like big leads in tennis, but they're really not. Oh boy, nice second serve.
Yeah, they are just down by 1 break, Dan.
Yep.
Not out of it by any means.
And in this division, no lead is safe. Oh, nice serve by Jackie.
Score on the screen isn't right.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys want to update the score on the screen. It's 4-2, Jackie and Tim.
I was talking about comebacks yesterday in a quarterfinal match. Imke Reimers and her partner Spencer Piston were down 8-2 in the third set tiebreaker and came all the way back and won. It was just amazing to watch.
Well, I mean, as you know, tennis is one of those sports you have to win. Time is not called.
Yep. That was a pretty good point. I hope they show the replay of that one. No pressure on the guys in the booth. Oh. As you look at Mickey and Marla, they were ahead 6-1 in their first set tiebreaker, and their opponents came back and won 7 consecutive points to earn that first set. So again, the level of play is so good, you cannot drop or take anything for granted. And obviously they ended up coming back and winning that match in the third set tiebreaker.
And as you know, we've been talking a lot about strategy, about execution, about agility. We forget about the mental toughness part that you just mentioned, Dan. Losing a close first set and coming back and winning.
Yep. Yeah, they came back and won that second set 6-1 or 6-2, I believe.
I mean, that's
it's like you put it behind you and you go to your next task. So, well, one of the things that's happened in the last few years here at Pine Tree is the money's been raised and they've been able to have an endowed chair of the Cancer and Blood Disorders Research Department, and that's Dr. Chris Schultz. And she's only the 3rd endowed chair ever at Children's Hospital. And Children's Hospital Minnesota has the largest pediatric cancer and blood disorders program in the upper Midwest, caring for more than 58% of the children diagnosed with cancer and blood disorders in Minnesota. And one of the impacts Pine Tree has is the networking all over the world. So while it's a local event impacting a local children's hospital, it is having an impact all over the world with kids. Dr. Schultz was talking at our sponsor party this year, and it is just amazing the reach this tournament has had, and the impact it's had on the kids and their families, because it's on the kids. But one of the guest speakers, it's the parents, it's the siblings, it's the grandparents. We like to think of Pine Tree event as a one big family. Okay, Marla serving 2-5.
And Dan, while I'm thinking about it, you were talking about all the important research that's done all over the world. Just want to mention, with the funds that we've been able to raise over the last 38 years, we've also established, or Children's has also established, an international ovarian and testicular tumor registry, which detects tumors in their earliest form.
Correct.
So thank you again.
I think that last point you saw, Marla's overhead, she knew she really couldn't put it away, so she just tried to hit a solid one deep down the middle, and that set up the opportunity for Mickey to finish the point. Oh.
Tim, what movement. What a point.
Unbelievable.
This does not look like a Masters draw.
No, it does
moving
not.
Moving like an open player here. Tim Burke, great gets, great defense.
And not only does he get him back, he gets it back in a position where it's hard for them to put the next ball away. Jackie saw Mickey retreating just a little bit and took advantage of that. Heads up. We have our first set point. Game in first set. Tim and Jackie.
But boy, it seemed closer than 6-2, didn't it?
Well, I'm looking at my watch here, and that took about 55 minutes for a 6-2 set. It just shows you how close some of those games were, and just a couple points here and there. A little momentum. And again, I think it just came down to just some really good defense. Obviously Tim and Jackie also can transition to offense really well. But I think control of points was probably about 50-50. And Tim and Jackie were just able to scrounge out a few more shots, make Mickey and Marla hit a few more overheads until they could either force an error or create an opportunity to transition to offense. So.
But as Dan was saying, high quality match, not a lot of unforced errors.
No, and when they're missing, it's not like they're tarpon balls over the fence. I think you're seeing a lot of different kind of formations and how teams are playing a little bit more. It's not the old, well, you have to come in to win. It's, if anything, you're seeing probably Mickey and Marla coming in a lot more than Tim and Jackie are. But again, it's Coach once told me, it's not who plays a better style, it's who plays their style better. So, again, there's a lot of tennis left to play. And then sometimes it's just a little momentum, and next thing you know, one team takes off, the other one doesn't.
Well, again, at this level, these players are resilient, they're confident, and losing a set by no means they're out of it. As you've been talking about this last hour, the matches have been close. A lot have gone to the breaker for the third set. Third set for the win to decide the match.
Correct. And yeah, we had a match yesterday where a team that ended up winning lost the first 4 games of the match, and they and literally about 10 minutes. And they ended up losing the first set, I believe 6-1. They came back and won the second set, and they won their third set tiebreaker 15-13. I believe they saved 3 match points up to that point. So, you know, that's one thing about our scoring system. It's not over till it's over. So we have a little extra time between sets, a little break.
Dan, sorry.
Nope.
Didn't mean to cut you off.
No.
You got to keep talking. If you take a breath, I'm just going to hop right in there, Dan.
Sue Rudd, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. If you know me, you know that if you take a breath, I start talking. You know, I want to keep talking about Children's Minnesota. You know, they also have done a lot with the rehabilitation of children that are cancer patients. Our wonderful team of experts in the physical therapy area. Thank you, Lynn Tanner and Dr. Laura Gilchrist, who I know is a professor at St. Catherine University. Thank you so much what you're doing, helping the patients, you know, go back to living a really productive, strong, agile life.
Yeah, as I mentioned, I believe earlier, one of the speakers at our event on Friday night was a father of one of the kids who was a patient there, and the amount of therapy they go through and the pain and the suffering and the way they work together as a unit with the PT people, they're just amazing individuals. Okay, Tim Burke to start serving the second set. Love. Okay, hopefully we're just getting a little drizzle right now. Again, there's so much pressure to hit really good volleys against a team that plays 2 back that if you don't do something pretty special, they're going to end up picking you apart.
Looks like they're going to suspend play here, Dan.
Play has been suspended. Take this moment to get over to the concession stand, or bid on the silent auction, or grab an umbrella.
Okay, and we are going
We
to
will
take a
hold
pause
off
in the
moving
play,
inside for a few minutes to see
and we'll
what
come
Mother
back when the
Nature
play
has in
comes
store
back
for
again.
us.
So thank you for watching, and hopefully you'll come back and watch the end of this great match.
And the open final.
And the open final after that.
Hello, welcome to the Pine Tree Apple Tennis Classic. We are back at the commentary booth at the Pine Tree Apple Tennis Classic here in White Bear Lake. We have suspended our TV coverage, unfortunately, due to weather. We moved the matches inside for the Masters and the Open final, and we will not be able to transition our TV crew inside. So this will conclude our TV coverage, but really appreciate your tuning in and hope that you can make it over here to Lifetime White Bear if you'd like to watch indoor. Thank you very much.